Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Tabletop Tuesdays. We've been gone for a little bit, but while we were on our hiatus, we were figuring out some new stuff. One of those new things being here, this new Call of Cthulhu game. Uh, we are some of the G Game Nights. You just watched our intro video. It's got a lot of the stuff we're doing on this channel. The schedule is posted below or on our Twitter or on our Discord, which the links again are below here if you're watching live on Twitch, or just follow us on Twitter, G Game Nights. We have all the stuff there. But yeah, so it's been a minute for us here at Tabletop Tuesdays. We are back with a reduced cast for the show. We're trying something with this, with just the three of us here. So we'll go ahead and do some introductions. Yeah, I think David, introduce yourself. We'll go around and then we'll come back to you actually explaining what we're doing as you are the keeper. But first up, we have our keeper, David.
Hey, yeah. Uh, David, I'm pretty much just here on the internet. I got a Twitter handle in there. It's just me retweeting largely political things, but whatever. Uh, um, yeah. So glad to be back.
Yeah, we're all glad to be back, and we're glad you're going to be running this game for us. All right, LB, tell the internet about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackamup. I'm going to be playing Clara Kriegerson today. I'm do a lot of stuff. Just check out my Twitter for it. I stream before this on my channel, on Friday nights on my channel, and on Sunday nights playing D&D on my channel. So, but a lot of stuff in between. So check out that stuff. I'm excited to play this system. I'm excited to be back with you guys, and we have some stuff coming up next week that we'll probably talk about at the end, but I'm excited for that too.
Yes, thank you. And I am rounding out the cast this evening. I am Alex, OMG It's Some Guy on the internet. You can find me on G Game Nights Tuesdays, where bi-weekly from this, I run the Masks game, which is coming back. Like I said, we're on a hiatus. We were figuring things out, but be on lookout for new changes there. Thursdays, which this Thursday is a Good Society week. We just survived a SWAT raid in that, so things are getting exciting over there. And then Saturday is going to be Saturday Night's Apocalypse week. But those are the shows I'm in. Then our normal schedule: Friday Neon Souls, Saturday Slam, or Sunday Slam 101, and then we're back again. You can find our schedule on our socials if you want to know what we're doing and when, and the best way to be kept informed is to join our Discord and follow our Twitter, where we tweet and post about going live. I think that is it. Oh, for today's game, I am playing James McCoy. And we will, I suppose, get into our characters in a little bit there. LB and I are both brand new to this system, so not sure how much we should be sharing about our characters now, but I think now is a good time to turn things over to David so he can explain what we're doing today.
All right. So yeah, running Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. If people have played any older editions of Cthulhu, this one is considerably more forgiving. You still have almost no hit points and will probably die or go insane, but you're probably not going to have like 3 or 4 characters throughout the course of a campaign. And yeah, this particular game, the Burbs, if the title sounds familiar, there is a 1980s Tom Hanks movie by the same name that is a bit of an inspiration. Feel free to watch it. No spoilers for this game. It just kind of shares a similar setup. Going into that, we will open in 1980 in Silver Falls, Ohio, a small suburb, one of the more distant suburbs of Columbus, Ohio. Has a small state university there, and it is currently June 4th, summer break, and the town is got a pretty reduced population as much of the students are, back at home for the summer. Uh, and we open with our two characters, I believe, uh, living in the same house. Alex characters renting a room there, and the house across the street from you has been for sale for about 8 months and was recently purchased. You are not sure exactly by who, but the sort of rumor mill around the neighborhood suggests they are probably going to be moving in today. Um, and yeah, we'll start with character introductions. I think as there's kind of it's a nice day outside. It's early afternoon, and there's definitely, you as you kind of look out through your windows, you see more than a few people on this nice suburban street are keeping an eye out for the moving truck they expect to be coming today. So yeah, let's start with Clara, I think.
Sure. Clara is probably sitting on the front porch. She has a sweater vest on and a button-up shirt underneath it. Wearing glasses, circular glasses, like maybe what I'm wearing. And she has brown hair that it's slightly messy, but it's tied off to the side in a braid. She is currently reading a book on the front porch. It's probably some sort of scientific either journal or work, maybe reading Carl Sagan's work once again. But she's keeping a lookout for the moving truck, but she does get very like pulled into her work, so she's probably like reading and like taking notes about it, just on like a wicker bench on the front porch.
All right. And James, what are you up to?
Yes. Yeah, I think James is probably mowing the lawn, trying to decide whether or not he does so shirtless. Um, no, he's probably fully clothed, but it is summer, so it's, t-shirt and shorts. But push mower, because I don't imagine there's a very expansive lawn here despite being in the suburbs, but still trying to make sure it is looking nice and tidy. Yeah, so he is just going back and forth, trying to make sure it looks good, especially as there are more people out and about right now. And maybe hoping, at the very least, doesn't want to can't hurt to make a good first impression on the new neighbors. So trying to make sure the house looks nice and tidy.
All right. Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind it is 1980, so while you say fully clothed, shorts and a shirt, there's it's not leaving a lot to the imagination. 1980s clothing, especially for men, was relatively revealing. But yeah, you're kind of doing that, and use a moving truck kind of comes down the street, stops. It's a U-Haul, right? And it's followed by a pickup truck with a few guys in it, and it stops, and you see. Let's see here. And everyone, this man, get out of the
leisure suit.
For anyone old enough to remember the 1980s very well, this is going to be a hodgepodge of fashion. I'm just choosing pictures that I like, so this is probably more late 80s, but still. Yeah, so you see this man step out of the U-Haul and start talking to the guys in the truck. They kind of get out and start unloading some things. And if someone wants to describe the person you see, you can go ahead.
I don't know if I have the vocabulary to do so.
All right, I
Um,
got it. I got it. Man with a rectangular shaped face, a very nice jawline, clean shaven, brown, shortish hair that is like made to look like it's disheveled, but definitely like put that way on purpose. Probably a lot of mousse in it. A black t-shirt, and over it is a I think that's a blue leisure suit, maybe a blue
Very
gray.
teal gray, yeah.
Yeah. He's got his sleeves rolled up to above his ankles, and a brown belt which goes great with it, and the pants to that match the jacket are just so baggy.
Mhm. And yeah, he's kind of telling these guys what to do. There's already some people kind of coming out of their houses to apparently meet the new neighbors. You quickly surmise that the people in the truck are workers. um, and and he's spends a few minutes getting set up, and he kind of looks around and sees y'all, the across the street neighbors, and just walks across the street.
David freezing for you too, LB?
Yeah.
Okay.
T-pose for dominance.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
you've
just
been
freezing
freezing
up a
for
little
us.
Could
bit.
you hear me at all?
Got
little
bits and
bit.
pieces. Last I got was, he was getting the workers set up, and then, looked at us and booked it across the street to come say hello to us.
Okay, so he's going across to say hello to you. I don't know if I can do anything with connection on my end. Sorry.
It's,
Make it
it's,
work.
the, it's the first episode. We're bound to have technical difficulties. We were dropping frames a bunch earlier.
It's going great so far. We might be able to stream from my system next time.
Yeah,
I don't know if that'll help.
I don't imagine if David's thing is anything to do with, because you're seeing him freeze too. So
Yeah. Oh, I meant for the dropped frames.
yeah, I think that's stabilized. But yeah,
Hmm.
we'll do our best, and please bear with us.
Yeah. Clara is very like clearly when he starts walking over, she's like kind of retreats into herself a little bit, and pretends to focus more on her reading. I don't know if James picks up on this, but she just very clearly like just goes, "Oh no."
Yeah, possibly. Important decision. Does our house have a picket fence?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Burbs.
Yeah. So I think James will, he's turned off the lawnmower at this point, goes to the edge of the fence, by the front gate, has not opened it yet, but is there ready to intercept. Sounds too aggressive, but is there to meet the approaching stranger.
All right. He just kind of walks up, and once he gets a polite distance to you, so he's not yelling, just kind of goes, "Hey, just moving in here. Thought I'd come over and introduce myself." He keeps walking towards you as he's doing it. He's very clearly getting into handshake range. And he goes, I'm Dr. Matthew Miller. I just got hired over as the head of surgery at Baptist down in Columbus. So yeah, and he just kind of reaches a hand out. Says, "And you are?"
Good to meet you. I'm James. Do a lot of work over at the campus.
All right. He shakes your hand. As he shakes your hand, you feel like a slight shock static electricity. And he grabs your hand, strong handshake, and he just shakes your hand for a solid 30 seconds as he makes intense eye contact with you and just says, James, 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 over and over and over again.
You all right there, Doc?
Before letting go, is like, sorry, just a little, I have a hard time with names and I like to try and remember them.
Sure, all right. Well, I mean, this is good to see the place across the street finally being bought. It's been vacant for most of a year at this point.
Yeah, that's what I had heard. I mean, we like it. You know, it's going to be a little bit of a fixer-upper, especially a basement. I feel like we're going to have to do a little remodeling, but you know, we'll get it figured out. And he kind of looks around you and he goes, and who's this up there?
Clara's gonna like obviously I've been spotted. She puts her closes her book and stands, wipes off her pencil skirt and walks down and just, hi, I'm Clara. I own the house.
Oh, hey. And he reaches a hand out for a handshake.
She gives him a handshake. Very.
All right. You feel a shock of static electricity as he shakes your hand for about 30 seconds and just makes eye contact and repeats your name the entire time.
She looks very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Goes, all right. Well, Clara, James, it's absolutely wonderful to meet you. Oh, you know what? I didn't, you know, James kind of saying what he did. I'm not trying to pry or anything, but just curious. I imagine you work around here.
Yes, I'm a professor at the college. I teach astronomy.
Oh, all right. So you got the summer off? Are you doing any summer courses?
They said I can't teach any more summer courses. They said my schedule was too tight, so I have to take time off.
Well, hey, you know, if you're ever looking for you know, any more teaching work or anything like that, I've got, you know, son and a daughter. I'm sure they could use a little tutoring in the sciences. You know, you'll meet them. They're coming in a little later tonight. They're, you know, some kind of bug going around. I didn't catch it, but the wife and kids did, and so they're probably going to come in after we're unloaded and just, you know, get to sleep and whatnot. Staying at the hotel right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad somebody moved in. It's a nice place. I knew the previous tenants, so.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they seem like nice people. You haven't dealt with them much. Talked to them a little bit on the phone, but we've mostly been, you know, dealing with their realtor. So, so yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get back to it here. You guys have a great day.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah,
Nice
gonna
to
try
meet you.
to anyways. Yeah, nice meeting both of you, Clara, James.
Bye.
Matthew, Dr. Math. What do you prefer?
You can call me Matt. It's fine.
All right. Well, see you around. Good luck with the move.
Oh yeah, much appreciated. I mean, we got a bunch of guys. I'm basically just telling people where to put furniture. You know, I'm sure I'm gonna have to rearrange the whole thing once the wife gets here, but you know, we'll get it figured out.
Best of luck.
All right. Yeah, he just goes across the street, gets back to it. You see, he, you know, goes out and meets a few more people as the day goes on. One of the person who's, if you're looking at his house, the person who lives to the left of him is a neighbor you've known for ages. He's lived there since before you bought the house. Mr. Jones, an elderly gentleman. After he, you know, goes and talks to him, he comes over to kind of talk to you, the two of you, to kind of get your opinion of Dr. Miller here.
What's his first name?
Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Is Alex. Sorry,
Nice.
Alex. Actually, I'll change it. I didn't think about that when I did.
Yeah.
Let's name him Michael.
All right.
Michael Jones.
Hello there,
I
Mr.
think-
Jones.
so it's fine. Seems nice.
And yeah, did the picture
Picture.
load?
Yeah, so it is, I mean, kind of, let's see, he's maybe 70s, a little heavy set, but he is very much leaning on a cane, supporting his back. But he's got a button-on shirt, still able to get around in jeans and such, but very much all white hair. Uh, I don't know if he is curmudgeonly, but he does in this provided photo. He does not look happy.
Mhm. Yeah, you've known him for a while now, and Mr. Jones is he's pretty much always bent over. He's got some bad arthritis, so that's about as the picture you have of him is about as high up as he gets. More often than not, you see him closer to a 90-degree angle walking around with his small Scottish Terrier Hercules. Kind of walks over and it's like, he seems like a nice enough fellow. What did you all think?
I mean, yeah, seemed agreeable enough, if perhaps a bit intense at times. But I mean, he said he has a thing with names, and so just a little odd. I mean, did he do the thing with you where shook your hand for 30 seconds and kept saying your name?
Yeah, roundabout. I mean, I guess it was 30. It seemed longer, honestly, but I guess it probably was only 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess, I guess some people just have more trouble with names than others, and if it works, it works.
I mean, I feel like it's acceptable to forget my name and just ask it again later. I'd rather that than shake the man's hand for 30. That was odd. But other than that, seemed nice. He, talk to him. I think he's gonna come over, take a look at my back, maybe tonight or tomorrow night.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he did say he's, surgeon, so
Yeah,
hope he's able
diva
to help you.
surgery.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, a handy neighbor to have.
Yeah.
If we ever, so figure get in good with them. But yeah, all right. Well, just making sure we had a similar read because the handshake thing,
Yeah.
I just felt like I had to go talk to someone about it, make sure that I was right. That's not a thing people do now.
No.
I'm not that out of okay.
No, not really, no.
Is Hercules doing all right? Is he still? Did you need me to take him for a walk or anything?
Oh no, we get around. I'll take him on a walk this afternoon, but yeah, I appreciate it. I'm sure he wouldn't mind going on a longer walk than I can. Maybe we can set that up this weekend or something.
I'd love to.
Well, thank you, Clara. And he just kind of shuffles back across the street.
You're like gonna say it for a hug or something, and I was
No,
picturing this old man just putting his shoulder
just
into
a
her.
real creep.
Like he doesn't use hands; it's just his shoulder.
So I gotta get back to it. I got one of my shows is gonna come on here. I don't want to miss it. Yeah.
Let me know if any interesting questions come up in Jeopardy.
I mean, they always do. And yeah, the conversation continues on slightly as it takes him an absolute eternity to get back to his house.
Is it as much of an eternity as the handshakes were?
No, it's much more pleasant than the handshakes.
I have a neighbor that is just like this, and no lie, lives like 3 houses kitty corner to us, just like this. Clara will kind of turn to James and give him like a nod and a smile and move back up to her book. He seems nice.
Yeah. Nice enough, sure. Little odd, like we just said, but hey, everyone's a little odd in some way, right?
Yeah, everyone tells me I'm odd, so
All right. Like I said, just odd in different ways. I've got my accent. What's the word I'm looking for? Accent.
Eccentric?
Yeah, I think that's it. Trying to use those big college words. I spent enough time around there. You'd think I'd pick some of them up.
You're not taking classes, so
Sure, but maybe just might somehow sponge into my brain or something.
osmosis
Right,
has been
that's it.
studied. Uh-huh. Yeah. Did you look at the sink in the bathroom upstairs?
Oh, right. I was gonna do that after mowing the lawn, and then obviously distraction and excitement. But I'll go get on that.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Yep. And so James will put the lawnmower away and head inside to examine the bathroom sink.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You take care of the bathroom sink. Um, no need to. No need to roll. Uh,
Yeah.
it's nothing that complicated of a plumbing emergency. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty normal day. You do note, the movers leave. They've unloaded uh, this U-Haul. You can tell it was very efficiently packed. There was a lot of furniture in there. The U-Haul stays, kind of parked out in front of the house. And later on that night, it's not quite dark out yet. It's after 9, and the sun's kind of, it's summer, so the sun's kind of going down a little bit. Why are you doing this to me, computer? Okay. And you see, oh darn it, I always forget what they're called. The family cars from before minivans and
Station
whatnot.
wagons.
Yes,
Oh
you
my
see a
God.
station wagon pull in. And you see 3 people kind of get out and begin to walk to the front door. You can kind of get an okay look at them, but you can just tell even from across the street, these people are not well. You see, coughing and hunched over, and what you assume is the wife has got kind of like crazy gray hair sticking out everywhere, like she hasn't brushed it in days. And they just kind of hurry in to the house. They don't get any of their luggage. They don't do anything like that. There's seems to be, the son seems, he's like 6'4". He's kind of bigger, but he's kind of just got really bad posture moving into the house. Can't tell very well, but he looks to be an older teen, maybe, young, at most he's 20 years old kind of thing. And the daughter again looks like older teen kind of thing, and she's nowhere near as tall as 6'4". About about like 5'6", and just kind of same thing, kind of just runs in. She's got a hair in a ponytail, just boom, in the house. And then after that, you see Dr. Miller come out and start getting their luggage out and bringing it in. But that's about all you see the rest of the family that day. And I have no idea if June 4th was the week it was, but we're going to say it was a Saturday for purposes of...
What year did you say this was?
1980.
1980. Quick to the Google.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Quick fill.
Yeah, it's loading. So June 4th was a Wednesday.
Okay, so let's call it June 7th then, or June 7th, because I do want it to be a Saturday.
Noted.
And yeah, the the cars and everything, the U-Haul kind of the whole next day just kind of stays there, doesn't do anything. The car um, stays there. If you're, paying attention, at about like 9 in the morning, a taxi comes and picks up um, Dr. Miller, and you see about an hour later he comes driving in with a Cadillac. And yeah, and then just goes inside.
This is the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point Clara's in the kitchen and she's like looking in her cabinets, and the neighborly thing to do would to be bring something over for, and it'd be, you'd have to make it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think she's looking in the cabinets trying to figure out like what she could make that would be acceptable, like maybe cookies, but she doesn't really have all that much stuff for it. So maybe she'll make some of those like peanut butter cookies, that you like put the X of the fork on the top of. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like all sugar and butter and peanut butter, and that's it. And flour.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you see as the day goes on, a few of the neighbors are bringing over some little welcome things.
Mm.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be unusual to do.
Okay. I think at some point she will yell up for James, depending on what he's doing. Um, James, I'm going to bring over some cookies to the new neighbors.
All right, sure. You want me to come with?
If you're not busy.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute to wrap this up and clean myself up a bit.
What's he doing?
Now he's probably doing I'm trying to decide if this is a character choice I want to make now that there is like a woodworking thing. Oh, I don't know if there's a whole shop, but maybe like if there's a garage in the house, like part of it is a woodworking thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so gets as much of the sawdust off as he can. It's almost glitter levels of impossible to get rid of all of it, but does his best to tidy up.
All right. Okay, so yeah, you head over, the two of you, ring the doorbell, and takes a second. You hear some footsteps coming to the door, and there's Dr. Miller answering the door. He kind of opens it, standing in the doorway, and just says, "Oh, hi, Clara, James."
Matt, good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing y'all.
I just wanted to bring by some cookies for the kids. I know they're sick.
Thank you. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Kind of grabs them, smells. Oh, peanut butter. All right. Well, yeah, I'll let them know. Yeah, we got a lot of sweets coming in here. I'm sure it's gonna, they'll be better sooner than ever. That's not real medical advice. Don't eat a bunch of sweets to get better. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, they're still not feeling too great. Otherwise, I'd invite you in for a beer or something like that. But much appreciated.
Yeah, no, not a problem. I hope everything is going well.
Yeah. Start up work tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Okay, well, let us know if you need anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure at some point, we'll figure it all out and get doing some stuff. And I've been hearing some machine sounds coming from the garage there, James. Some woodworking. Kind of heard a saw, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's that part is a little bit more of a hobby than my trade, but I'm hoping to. I mean, look at these hands and just calluses all over the place. Gotta do something with my hands.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, we're doing some remodeling here. I'm going to try and do most of it with my son once he's feeling better. But if we get stuck, I might hire you if that's all right.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's quiet around town in the summer, so less work for me to do. So yeah, by all means, give us a
All
shout.
right. All right. Yeah. And he goes, well, thanks so much. I'm going to get back to taking care of these sick folk here.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Bye. Shuffles off. Thank you for coming with me.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think, how are James and Clara close in any way at this point, or are they just like, oh, they've known each other by association, and is this James's like first summer living in Clara's house?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they probably have like a friendly relationship. Like he came in and fixed something in the lab, and like things break all the time in the lab, so he's
Yep.
been in there a couple times. They joke about stuff, but
Sure.
she's comfortable enough around him, and she's not comfortable around other people. So
Gotcha.
they're at that level of like I feel comfortable enough inviting you to live in my home. So, but I don't think they're like best friends or something like
Yeah.
that.
Sure. Okay. Uh, yeah, I get that meeting people can be a bit intimidating, and I mean, he's certainly intense in ways, but seems harmless enough. But
Yeah. I just hope his wife isn't like all the other wives on the street and wants me to join some sort of book club or something.
right, yeah, I mean that last book club, I don't think I certainly got a laugh out of it, but I don't think they appreciated you going into such detail on the author's uh biography before you even began talking about the book.
Yeah, they tend to take things overboard, and I would rather, stick to myself.
Sure.
All right. So yeah, other than that, a normal Sunday here. The next, and I will want spot hiddens from the two of you, just to see if you notice something.
What is the dice? What dice is
It's
this
so it's a
system?
D100. So
Okay.
your D100, and you're looking to roll under your skill value.
Oh, right. Okay. I remember now. We talked about this a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. Spot hidden, so mine is a 35.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Ooh.
dang. That is, according to Roll20, a hard success at an 11.
A hard success.
So yeah, it Roll20 calculates it for you, but they have hard and extreme rolls in this. A hard roll is you have to roll under half the value of your skill, and an extreme roll is you have to roll under a fifth the value of your skill.
So my spot hidden is 25. I rolled an 11.
Oh my goodness,
We
both of you
rolled
with an 11.
11s.
All right, both of you got a hard success. Yeah. Yeah. So
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's something good to notice. You notice at about like 8:30, you see Dr. Miller, kind of come out of his house, walk over to Mr. Jones' house, knock on the door, enter the house, and you all notice him again about an hour later, walk back over to his house.
Is Hercules with him?
Nope. Hercules seems to still be at Mr. Jones' house.
Hercules is Clara's favorite neighbor.
Makes sense.
I think Clara is probably out on her side. I want to think that her bedroom on the second floor, there is a balcony on the outside, and
Okay.
she has like a telescope set up and stuff like that. So she was probably out there like charting the stars, whatever she does with the stars, making like naming them and all that sort of thing. And that's probably where she sees them.
Okay. Yeah. Getting set up for it.
Yeah.
A few of the brighter stars would be visible via telescope even at this point. Um, especially with the right equipment, and I assume you would have it as an astronomer. So yeah. Anything you want to have been doing while you noticed this,
Yeah, I imagine it's
James?
probably probably in the garage at the woodworking station, and so it's summer, it's nice out, and has the garage door open, and I think it's mostly situated so that like uh, if he's looking at the station, to one side is the open garage door, and so maybe caught it out of his periphery as he's at this point probably just sanding something. It's a bit late to be doing any power tool work.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you see it. That's about the. Other than that, it's just a usual day for you all. I mean, even that's not overly unusual. It's just notable.
Mhm.
And yeah, you turn in for the night, do your usual Sunday night routines, especially that there's no work for the two of you Monday morning. And at about 2 in the morning, you are woken up by a loud sort of electrical humming noise. And your windows kind of flashing slightly. You look out the windows and you see that the Miller's house, has a basement, and the basement, the top of it's partially above ground, and has some windows, and those windows are flashing with bright blue light.
Clara is in a cotton. I'm just pulling this exactly from the Mummy. She's in that white cotton do up with the lace on the top, and she like looks out, and I think she like moves to the door and calls for James, and then I think grabs for the phone to call the police. If unless James just tells her not to.
No, I mean, I think James, it's like, all right, I'll go see if I can check it out, and he's probably gonna run to the garage first to grab like rubber gloves or something before
Yeah.
heading across the street.
Be careful.
Okay. Yeah, by the time you kind of have the gloves and are kind of decent to run
Yeah,
across the street, not like you didn't like get dressed in a three-piece suit or anything like that, but you
definitely
threw
not just in my underwear.
yeah, you threw some clothes on.
Mhm.
And you kind of get over there. It has stopped.
Okay.
You see a few other lights on this. A few other houses on the street have turned lights on, and you see some people you see silhouettes of people looking out windows.
Right. Kind of looking back across the street to see if you can see Clara in a window or at the door or something, but is gonna go uh ring the doorbell.
Okay. Yeah, as you're kind of walking up the steps, a the door opens, and Dr. Miller kind of walks out and shuts the door, and he goes, sorry about that. And he kind of, walks out into his yard. He goes, sorry about that. Everyone had a bit of an electrical thing, was working on some lighting in the basement there, and it just got out of control. I apologize. It's taken care of. We'll have an electrician out tomorrow. He's kind of yelling it.
All right. I mean, do you? Hold on, let me double check my character sheet. Did I make electrical things a skill? I've got great mechanical repair. Um, yeah, I mean, and electrical repair is also pretty good too. I mean, yeah, you probably should get a specialist out here tomorrow, but I can maybe come take a look tonight. Just make sure it's not gonna burn the house down or anything.
I know a little bit about it. And we've got I've got the power turned off to the house. We're just gonna go no electricity for the night. Get
All
it all
right.
worked out. I appreciate it though. Yeah, I'm a bit of an amateur at it. And yeah, if it's not figured out tomorrow, I might come and maybe me and you could look at it tomorrow night.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot to be said for being an amateur. Electricity is not something you want to mess around with unless you know exactly what you're doing. So I'm glad it worked out, but definitely leave it to the professionals.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Absolutely. You're right. You're right. It's one of those things you get enough education in you and you think you can do anything, and so often you're humbled. But yeah, I appreciate the help and I am so sorry. Get back to sleep. I know I'm going to.
Right.
Uh,
Okay, well, guess see you tomorrow. I'll definitely be checking in to see, make sure you're not gonna blow up the whole block or anything with any more
mm,
electrical mishaps.
yeah, yeah. Thanks. All right.
All right.
And yeah, kind of, night everybody kind of thing and heads back inside.
No, no, I think it's actually okay that there was an electric. It's okay. Thanks. Okay. What happened? Is he okay?
He said he was doing some electrical lighting in the basement and it got out of hand, and he's bringing in an electrician tomorrow. But I warned him how stupid he was being tackling that as an amateur, but they're just turning off the power for the night and they'll get someone over there tomorrow.
Okay, good. Strange blue light though, right? Like,
I mean, I guess maybe it could depend on the bulb he's using, or heaven forbid, if there's, exposed wiring down there, that could maybe give off that kind of light, but, well, doesn't seem like things are on fire, and we'll just. I offered to go over and check things out, sometime tomorrow or the next day if the electrician doesn't get it, but now it seems like things are good and should just get back to sleep.
okay. You want tea? I think I need a cup of tea.
Sure, yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. So I'll go fix them both a cup of mint tea and turn in after that.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty usual, start to the Monday morning. You do see pretty early in the morning, Dr. Miller does get in his car and leave. And probably, let's see here. Yeah, probably at about like around lunchtime, you see a woman leave the Miller's house, and she is walking to your house and is carrying some kind of tray of food or something like that.
Abby takes a breath. Or I'm sorry. Clara takes a breath.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. And waits for her to knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then counts to 10. And then moves from the kitchen to answer it.
All right. Yeah. So you see this woman at the door here. If someone would like to describe, if you can see her.
Oh boy. Okay. Sorry. I was not alive in the 80s, but I just love all of it. She has I would call this a like a rose gold hair color, like a light reddish hair. It's done up very 80s style, lots of volume and curls. It comes down just above her shoulders. Bright white smile with I mean, I would call her oh god, what's her name from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she was Catwoman.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. She does have a very Michelle Pfeiffer face with a small nose, big mouth, and bright blue eyes. And she's tan, wearing a light pink blouse that is low cut a little bit, but it also has a giant pink bow flopping with big poofy sleeves.
All right. Yeah, so she is at the door. She kind of goes, "Oh, hi. We just moved in. I'm Samantha, I'm Dr. Miller's wife, and I bought these for you."
Oh, thank you. You didn't have to do that. I'm Clara.
Oh, and as she kind of hands the tray of things to you, she goes, "Claire, it's so nice to meet you." And she puts her hand on your shoulder. You feel a shock of static electricity as she then makes intense eye contact with you and repeats your name for 30 seconds.
Huh. It's a family trait then, huh?
Just, yeah, little something I picked up from my husband. You never forget a name. It's a little awkward, but
Yeah.
it works. And she goes, "Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy them. I heard there's someone else living here, James. I was hoping to meet him as well if I could."
Yes, please come in. She will move around her and close the door with her foot, bring the tray of food into the kitchen and set it down. James, he's renting the room upstairs.
Oh, okay.
He works at the university with me.
Okay.
James
James!
will focus it out. Yeah. Hello there. Just 1 second. Goes in, makes sure he looks presentable, and then emerges probably half a minute later. Am I assuming correctly that you are Dr. Miller's wife?
Yeah, Samantha Miller. So nice to meet you. And she goes, "And it's James." And
Right.
she goes to shake your hand.
Claire just goes.
I think by the time James sees that, it's too late to back out.
Yeah.
But
All right. Yeah, you feel a small shock of static electricity as she shakes your hand. She's got both hands on yours, shaking it for 30 seconds and just making intense eye contact and repeating your name over and over and over again. Just, yeah, it's so nice to meet you. We have heard back from an electrician. He is going to be out later this afternoon.
that's good.
And so, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for offering to help last night. I figured I probably owed your house the first visit here. I got a lot of stuff I've been cooking up all morning. I'm going to bring them over. But these are an absolute favorite recipe of mine. I hope you enjoy them. And yeah, I got a lot of people to meet and a lot of apologies to make, but I'm so sorry. My husband really should not have been messing with anything like that.
Yeah,
Especially in the middle of the night like that.
I told him as much, and we'll just have to hope that he took the lesson to heart.
Mm-hmm,
But,
mm-hmm.
how are you doing? Your husband mentioned that you and your kids weren't feeling too great, but you look
I
fine and
am
dandy.
feeling much better. A few days sleep. The kids are still a little under the weather, which is odd. I would have thought they kicked it faster than me, but seems like no. And yeah, so hopefully here in the next few days.
Well, yeah, I certainly hope they get better soon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, so I'm thinking they're probably going to be all better by this coming weekend. Assuming it goes the way it did for me. So we're tentatively planning a barbecue to kind of introduce ourselves to the neighborhood. And so we're thinking next Sunday, probably about like 1 p.m. Give everyone enough time to go to church and everything. You're more than welcome. I'll let you know if the plans change.
Thanks.
Sounds
Appreciate it.
wonderful. Yeah.
I'll return your dishes when we're done.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it's it's no rush. It's no rush. We're getting a lot of takeout right now while everyone's sick.
Okay.
But yeah,
especially with the power out, I'm sure it's difficult to try and cook.
It's a gas stove, so we got that at least.
Okay.
But yeah, all right. Well, like I said, I got a lot of apologies to make, a lot of food to deliver. So it was so wonderful meeting the two of you. James, Clara, I cannot wait till this Sunday to get to talk to you a little bit more.
Wonderful.
Looking
I'll show
forward
you
to it.
out.
All right. And yeah, she leaves and you see her, go across the street, get another little bit of another pan of food, and start, bringing it over to other people's houses. Give me a spot hidden.
Oh boy.
Both of us, or just Clara?
Both of you, yeah.
45.
That's a 9 under a 35. That is another hard success.
Okay. You notice that she goes over to Mr. Jones, knocks on the door, and is standing out there for probably about 5 minutes before just leaving and taking the dish to another house. Seems Mr. Jones did not answer the door. But yeah, it's lunchtime if you want to look at the food. It's got a strong enough odor. I don't even know if either of you really need to look at it, and that it smells strongly of beef and onions.
Clara looks at James.
This is it's certainly a lovely gesture, but
We'll tell her we ate it, right?
right. I'm just trying to say, do we be sneaky enough about this that I take it to a dumpster across back on campus and dump it there? Because if we just throw it out, she might know that we just tossed it.
Do you think she's gonna go through our garbage?
I wouldn't hope so, but I mean, this is, and with the onions in there, it's fairly pungent, and it's summer. If it's sitting out in the garbage, it's only going to get stinkier.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just wait till later, I guess.
Roll me a luck roll.
Oh boy.
We'll see how soon garbage day is here. Each of you can roll me one. If either of you succeed, we'll say garbage day is tomorrow.
Okay, so looks like on the sheets I just click the luck stat.
Mm-hmm.
That is a failure for me. That's 80 versus 30.
I got a 13 versus 50.
Okay. All right. So yeah, garbage day is tomorrow. So you'll probably get away with it.
Yeah, maybe just get up early and take it out, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll do that. If we put it in
All
the
right.
fridge, everything's gonna stink like it until then, but if we leave it out, it'll stink even worse.
Right. You look at it, the dish, and it is just stuffed onions. You see the tops are cut off. There's ground beef just in there. Yeah.
Oh, this is a mechanic of the game, everyone. Or is it? It's the mechanic of this game. Well, we both had to pick something that our characters will not eat.
Yeah.
Mine was ground beef.
And I chose onions.
Yeah, for the campaign, not Cthulhu. Yeah. This is not a normal step in Cthulhu. But yeah, ground beef and onions.
Gross. Isn't there what is that? Is something from Doug that he hated? It was like liver and onions. I'm getting very much that. But do you guys ever watch
Maybe.
Doug?
Yeah, but I
It's been a
barely
long
remember
time.
it. I remember the killer tofu at this point and Quail
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
but
Liver and onions is like a famously bad dish that kids hate to
Yeah.
eat, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised.
Uh,
But yeah, so that seems to be her meal that she's making for everyone. The pan itself is kind of like it's like a thin kind of like Tupperware type thing. She's got, you see each one that she's bringing over is an identical set of Tupperware. It looks like they probably bought a bunch
yeah.
to
Tupperware.
make these rounds. And yeah,
once you deal with the food, I will just mention of like, oh yeah, went over to Mr. Jones's place, but he didn't answer. He doesn't get out much, does he?
Uh, well, he tries. He takes Hercules for a walk every day.
Yeah.
Is that something that Clara might notice, like if they don't do that?
I mean, if you were to, you know, pay close attention to his house,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, the general times he
Mhm.
would take the dog on a walk, but it's not like a 100%. He takes the dog
Yeah.
at 3. It's like between 3 and 5
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I think Clara will keep an eye out because he is old and there is a dog that she cares a lot about, just to make sure, like, hey, I hope he's okay. Like, he might have tripped or,
Mhm.
I don't know. He lives alone, right? So it's not like
Mhm.
anyone would notice.
Yeah, he's a widower, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that Clara would actually focus on.
Okay. Yeah, so she makes her, you watch as, Mrs. Miller makes her rounds to the immediate neighbors. It's not everyone
Mhm.
on the street or anything like that. That's entirely too many stuffed onions to cook.
Yeah, Chris.
But yeah, about we'll say 4 in the afternoon, you're kind of keeping an eye out
Mhm.
on the house, and you see Hercules running across the yards to, and he seems to just be running over to your house.
Boy. Clara kind of takes off her glasses and puts down her book and moves out very quickly from what she was doing to opens the front door.
All
Hercules, what
right,
are you doing here?
he is absolutely filthy, just covered in dirt. Um, is kind of immediately kind of runs up to you and is kind of rubbing on you and stuff. Very clearly seems to be distressed.
Oh, is something wrong? She'll pick him up, getting herself all dirty in the process. She doesn't care. Where's your dad? And she's gonna start walking him back across the street.
Okay.
Go to not the Millers, but the Joneses' house.
Mm-hmm.
She'll try to be comforting him on the way too.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Is calming down a little bit, and you get over and knock on the door. Nothing.
Is this a neighbor that I'm close enough with to know where they hide their key?
Yeah. We'll say you've watched Hercules before. He's had to go out of town. He has a daughter that lives out of state, and he goes and visits semi regularly. And he doesn't always take Hercules with him. So you reach under a flower pot on the front porch.
Unlocks the door and Mr. Jones? It's Clara from across the street. Hercules, it looks like he got out. Is everything all right?
No answer.
Mr. Jones? She'll push the door open more and let herself in. Kind of put Hercules down and close the door behind herself. Like slowly move through the house while calling out so that it's not like she's just suddenly there. Maybe check the backyard just to make sure, like, now she's worried that he's fallen or that he's unconscious somewhere.
hmm So as you walk through the house, you don't see anything really out of place, at least not obviously out of place. You don't see any sign of Mr. Jones. You go to the backyard, and looks pretty, normal. You see that it's pretty clear that Hercules has dug his way under the fence
Mm-hmm.
and got out. But that's the only unusual thing that is immediately obvious to you.
Okay. I think she'll go upstairs. Like make sure the bedrooms are like make sure he's not home, basically. Like, oh, he probably just left him out and Hercules crawled out. But she's, he's an old man, wanna make sure.
Yeah. So the master is on the first floor.
Okay. That makes sense.
There's a couple of bedrooms upstairs,
Uh-huh.
but you suspect they don't. As you start to go up the stairs, the layer of dust that's immediately obvious on the rail up to it doesn't look like he goes up there very often.
She will then just maybe give one more call and then just check that Hercules' food and water is good. Is his car in the driveway or in the garage?
You check in the garage and his car is there.
Suspicious. So she'll make sure that Hercules has food and water, and like walk out, lock the door, replace the key under the pot, kind of walk back to the house, and it's like you said, around 4:00. She will probably sit out on the front porch and read her book and see if she wait and see if he comes home, sort of thing. She didn't, I mean, she's not like paying attention to everything her neighbors do, but she didn't see him leave, so, and his car is still there, so she's not sure what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. As you kind of wait to see if anything happens, you do see an electrician show up probably about 4:30. Mrs. Miller walks out to greet him and shakes his hand. You watch the uncomfortable situation unfold before taking him into the house. The electrician's there for about an hour and leaves. You see the lights start to turn on in the house.
No lights on at the Jones house?
Yeah, none that weren't already on.
She'll is there anyone else in the neighborhood that Mr. Jones is close to, or that because I assume it's kind of like one of those situations where, like, hey, call somebody, be like, hey, did you know that someone was going out of town, or do you know that, like, did they talk to you about it, even if they didn't talk to me about it? Is there anyone else in the neighborhood that he would talk to like that?
Yeah, there's one of the neighbors that's been around for a while. A Miss Carol Brown.
Okay. Is she down the street?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Clara will call her up probably right before she sits down for dinner, just to see if she knows anything, if she's heard anything.
She answers and, oh no, he hasn't told me anything like that. He mentioned something about Dr. Miller trying to help him with his back, but that's the last I talked to him.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know if you met Samantha Miller, Dr. Miller's wife. She came by. She tried to drop something off with him, and he didn't answer. And then Hercules got out, and I returned him just to make sure that things were okay. But I didn't see him in the house, and I was just worried that maybe he fell or something. But I didn't see him in there, so I thought maybe he went into town, but his car was still there. So I don't know if he doesn't. I mean, I'm kind of worried if he doesn't show up. If I don't see him tonight, maybe I'll go over later tonight and make sure that Hercules is taken care of. But yeah, just maybe something came up really quickly and he had to go with family or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, yeah, I could have taken a taxi to the airport or something early in the morning. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, usually he lets me know if he's going to be out of town so I could watch Hercules, but
that's true. He wouldn't have forgot Hercules.
Right. I'll check back later. I'll let you know if I find anything.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Keep me updated.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Carol.
Anytime.
And I'm sure that this is something that James would have overheard.
That's certainly odd.
Yeah, it's not like him. He always takes him on a walk in the afternoon, and if he goes out of town, he has someone watch Hercules.
Yeah, and I mean, he's definitely not gonna make the walk into town, not at his age and condition.
No. Although if he did try to, he probably wouldn't have reached there yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's okay, but maybe I can, can take a drive tonight, see if he's, if he for whatever reason made the walk into town. But
Yeah. If he doesn't come back tonight, I was gonna. Well, if we don't see him come back, I was going to go over and maybe get Hercules and bring him over to the house. Is that okay with you?
sure. I don't think I could get one ready tonight, but I could certainly get, a dog house built sometime tomorrow.
I don't think we'll need that, but he can stay and give him a bath, and he can stay for a while. And I don't know what's going on with Mr. Jones, but we can't leave Hercules there by himself.
Right, of course.
Okay, so I'll go over after sunset and just make sure, and I'll leave a note in case he comes back that Hercules is at my house.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, if he doesn't apparently come back, you go and check.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's still not back. Pretty late into the night, and bring Hercules back. He seems nervous.
Yeah.
And very excited to go with you.
Mm-hmm. I'll bring some food and his bowls, and when he gets to my place, he goes right in the tub, gets a bath. There's no like blood on him, right?
Not readily apparent.
Okay. He's he's got a black coat, but like when you rinse him off, if there's any. So
red.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she'll give him a bath and give him a quick dry off, and she protests that he doesn't go in her bed, but by the end of the night they're cuddling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think probably while Clara's giving him the bath, James is gonna get in the car, which is probably some kind of pickup truck, and just drive, the main path into town and just see if there's a collapsed old man on the side of the road or anything.
Okay. Yeah, there's not that you see.
Yeah. Is there maybe like a diner in town that he frequents that we could, or that maybe James would think to check and see if they've seen from him, or is Mr. Jones mostly a homebody at this point?
He's mostly a homebody. Yeah, his arthritis is bad enough that he kind of limits his driving and whatnot into town. It's uncomfortable enough for him.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but I mean, there are popular restaurants in town. I mean, you could check those out and see if anyone's seen him.
Maybe some of the takeout places that do delivery and just see if they've gotten any orders from him today.
Sure. Um, any kind of skill you think would be appropriate um, for this kind of investigation?
Hmm. Got. I'm just gonna kind of read off some of the skills that I have. There's charm, persuade. Um, I mean, those are probably the most applicable.
Okay.
There's also fast
Uh,
talk. Um, yeah,
Fast talk would be a little bit more like kind of trying to like trick someone into
yeah.
uh, giving away something, or explain something really fast and trick someone into like letting you into a concert, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not giving them time to think about the lie. Um, and okay, so yeah, give me charm or persuade is good enough. We'll say you kind of
Okay.
hit a few of them.
Yeah, charm is better at 15, so still not great chance of success. Yeah, no, that's a 94 versus 15. That's a failure.
Okay. If this is something you feel passionately about, I will remind people of a mechanic. This is something that you would usually put forward yourself, but as
Mhm.
it hasn't come up yet, I figured to talk about it. It's called pushing the roll. It's something I think is first showed up in seventh edition of Call of Cthulhu, so I think it's pretty new. Um, it's where you basically get you re-roll the role, but you up the stakes in some way. You do something that makes it either like intrinsically more dangerous, or do something like, oh, you stay up all night like calling places and things like that. You do something that just sort of increases the chance for something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Kind of putting yourself out there. And what happens with this is if you pass, you get your stuff. If you fail, the horror of the game is advanced. So if you feel passionately about this, which I do not suggest on a 15%,
No.
but
Yeah, so
just so people remember it's there.
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna push the roll. Gonna save that from when it's more life or death for one of us.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of call around. Nothing, no one, remembers the address, or at least no one's telling you that. Seems it's one of those things. It'd be odd for a business to just sort of like tell you, like, yeah, we normally deliver this to Mr.
Yeah.
Jones. So, um, not sure if the information's reliable or not, but no one's giving you anything that is suspicious.
But this is the 80s. Everyone talks about everyone.
There was nothing else to do. There was no internet yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where the success and charm would have gotten you they would have been much more free
Yeah.
flowing with the information. But yeah, yeah. So nothing to it. He doesn't seem to come home that night. Probably about like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Dr. Miller rolls up in his Cadillac. You see him open his trunk, and he's kind of gets a bunch of stuff out of his car. Um, an unusual, you imagine it's an unusual amount of things for a surgeon to be bringing in from work. But he's kind of juggling them all to the front door, and goes in, and that's sort of it for the night on the Millers.
I think Clara will go over and like knock on James' door.
Hey, what's up?
Did you find anything?
No, which, I mean, is good and bad. I mean, didn't find him collapsed on the side of the road, but, I tried some of the takeout places in town, and none of them, said they had delivered anything to him lately.
Okay. I don't know his daughter's name. I don't want to go snooping around his house, but I mean, I'm kind of worried about him. Do you think we should call the police?
Oh, I don't know if we should yet. I mean, what do they always say? It's gotta be 24 hours before they'll take a case for a missing person. So,
But I mean, he's an old man, right?
yeah, this is maybe I can go across, try and talk with Dr. Miller, because I mean, we saw him go over and visit, see if he knows anything.
Okay. I mean, it's late, but maybe in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. First thing in the morning, I'll go. If he hasn't heard anything, then yeah, we can let the police know.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. Thanks.
Sleep well, and if Hercules gets too annoying, I can bring him into my room.
Okay, I'll let you know. Goes back
Okay.
to her room.
Yeah, so it's an uneventful night. You wake up in the morning, get your stuffed onions in the garbage and get it out to the curb early. How are people feeling? Is this a good spot for
Yeah, this is probably a
break?
good place for a break. We're at hour and a half.
All right.
So, thank you for hanging with us thus far. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had at the very beginning. Seems like it's clearing up. We're gonna take a quick break for us, refresh ourselves. You should refresh yourselves too. Don't refresh the page, because you want to stay on this page. And we'll be back very soon. Welcome back, Internet. Thanks for sticking with us. We are refreshed and ready to go. So, let's get back to it, shall we?
All right. So yeah, you've had a night of sleep worrying about Mr. Jones. You've woken up early to ditch the stuffed onions in the hopes that no one smells them in your garbage. Your secret shame that you did not, as a Midwesterner, you did not eat the food that was given to you. The worst thing you could ever do to anyone
God
is
forgive us.
um, but yeah, and some talk of potentially going to talk to Dr. Miller and see if he knew anything about Mr. Jones, or going over again to Mr. Jones' house, or something along those lines, as you were quite concerned about your missing elderly neighbor.
Yes. I'm just quickly scrolling back through my notes to see about when we've noticed Dr. Miller leaving each morning, so that, I can catch him while he's awake, but not right on his way out the door to work.
Yeah. You can. You've seen him leave. He leaves pretty early in the morning, but he's chief of surgery. It's not like It's not like he's got to be there at like 6 a.m. to do a surgery himself.
Yeah.
So it's you can probably roll over there around 7 and not be bothering anybody.
Yeah, and I think instead of ringing the doorbell, just gonna knock on the door and hope that will disturb fewer people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. You hear some kind of quick footsteps um, approaching the door, and you see Dr. Miller kind of open the door. He's got a piece of toast in his mouth, and he's kind of getting a tie on.
Oh, Matt, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but also wanted to catch you before you went to work for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just wanted to ask about Mr. Jones because I know you'd gone over to help him with his back, and the other day we noticed had gotten out of the yard, and we went over to go check, and there was no answer from Mr. Jones. So I was wondering if he said anything to you when you saw him, or I know he has a
No, he didn't say
daughter.
anything.
Huh.
I mean, we talked a little bit about his daughter, but he didn't mention going to see her or anything. No, I just kind of gave him they gave a quick look at the back to see if there's any surgical options that we had for him. It's not particularly a specialty of mine, so I didn't have anything for him, but I did tell him to come in. There's some great doctors at the hospital here I could get him some appointments with. So he's supposed to get back to me about that, but I haven't heard from him.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see if we can check a little more because normally he does tell someone if he's leaving town to go visit his daughter. But yeah, so you might hear a little bit more from us as we try and check in. We want to make sure he's living by himself. Want to make sure he didn't, that he has people looking out for him. So, like I said, sorry to bother you, but might be a little bit more of a nosy neighbor about this over the next day or two as we try and see what's up with him.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do you think we need to call the police over it?
It might be getting there because I mean it has been about a day since anyone's seen him. So because we went over, didn't see, looked through the windows, didn't see anything in his place, and I briefly drove into town, which didn't seem like he went that way, but just to be safe and no one seen or heard him there. So
All right. Well, yeah, if you call the police, I maybe come let my wife know. She can call me while I'm at the hospital. I'll go ahead and look and see if he's in the hospital. I can do that.
could you? Yeah,
Um,
that'd be good.
yeah. So yeah. Well, thank you so much. His name is Michael, right? Michael Jones.
Yes, yeah, Michael
Okay.
Jones.
All right. I didn't catch his age, but hopefully there's not. It's a common enough name. Hopefully, I mean, even if there's 5, I can just go visit them all. I mean,
Right,
I'm getting
yeah.
ahead of myself with complications here. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Yeah. Thanks for letting us know. Sorry I couldn't be more help.
Yeah, no, I mean we're just like we said, we're concerned neighbors. We all kind of look out for him around here. So now that you're right next door,
Oh, absolutely,
you
absolutely. Yeah. No need to worry about it. I'm glad you came over. Um,
I'll
yeah.
I'll let you
All
get
right.
back to getting ready. I'm sure you've got a busy day ahead of you, so won't take up too much more of your time.
Okay. Go ahead and give me either a psychology or a psychoanalysis roll to kind
Okay.
of gauge Dr.
Yep.
Miller's.
So my psychoanalysis skill is 1. Imagine if I succeeded on that. Psychology's 10. We'll see how this goes. Nope. 72 versus 10.
Oh, one thing, you both succeeded on a spot hidden in this game so far, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you can check mark those skills. There's on your
Ah,
character sheet, there's a little dot thing next to it.
okay.
Go ahead and mark it. There will be periods throughout that will get to level up, and that
Gotcha.
will be you getting to roll to potentially increase your skills. So yeah, when you successfully use a skill in something that advances the game, you get to put a little check mark in there. But I think those are the only things so far that have been successfully used, right?
Right.
Okay. Other than a luck roll, which we don't increase, you don't get more lucky as the game
Right.
goes. So
Unfortunately.
yeah. So you failed. So yeah, nothing. Again, it's one of those like you could like as an example to push it. You could be like you really like ask some probing questions or
Yeah,
make
but
hard eye contact to look for tells.
as
Uh,
players, we are clearly aware something's going on. As people, we probably just be like, "Oh, this is really weird," and you're just the last guy who saw him. But he's an old man. We just
yeah, there's not a hard reason to it, especially as a 10%.
yeah.
I wouldn't suggest it, but just to highlight the way the mechanic works.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, nothing unusual. You go about your day. You see about 20 minutes later, Dr. Miller leaves, and yeah, unless you do anything to change sort of the mundane pace of the suburbs here for the day, it is going to be a very usual day
Well, so
in the neighborhood.
after the chat with Dr. Miller would return to the house. Do you imagine Clara's up already, given what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
And so would let her know that yeah, he didn't seem to he didn't seem to know anything. I told him that we checked around the house. I didn't mention that we have the key to go or that you have the key to go inside, but I mean, he did also suggest that we maybe bring it to the police, and he said he was going to check the hospital. So
Okay. Yeah, that's I think we should. I mean, this seems really strange, right? I'm not overreacting here.
yeah, I mean, there's if the car was gone, sure, maybe he left, but yeah, this is so. Yeah, we should probably about time for us to call them.
Okay.
So
Maybe I hate to do this, but maybe we should go over there and check to see if there's any messages on his answering machine or a letter or something that he got.
yeah, we could do that. Yeah, because maybe that'll give us some indication, and if we get the police involved and they go and they find that right away, we'll feel a little silly, but
Yeah.
do that, and then we can go in and go to the police.
Okay. Well, let's go do that. You don't have to come with me. I can go by myself. It's
No, I'll come with you. Just two eyes are two sets of heads. Almost at a saying there, but you know what I mean.
yeah. Okay. Go back to the house.
I keep having to stop myself from correcting the sayings or the grammar and being like, no, wait, it's the character
Yeah.
doing it. Alex is
Yeah.
doing it on purpose. Like,
I
Well,
probably
he's
need to,
supposed to be a himbo.
yeah, I probably need to give him a bit more of a voice to differentiate it, but I don't want to do my full himbo voice because that's a voice I say for D&D fantasy characters.
all right.
We'll go back to the neighbor's house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Tuesday morning. Probably by the time you're dressed ready to go, most people have left for work. Or those that work anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And
Get the key from under the flower pot and unlock the door. Go inside, call his name again.
all right, yeah. Continues to be no answer.
Would you mind checking in the basement just in case? I didn't look down there. I know he has trouble going down the stairs.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'll go and look for the basement.
All right. Okay, so yeah, give me As you look around in the basement, go ahead and give me a spot hidden. I assume you're doing, more detailed searches now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously checking to see if he, somehow fell down the stairs, but also going to go
Uh,
down and check around.
no, no immediate
Yeah. Okay, so that is a
visuals.
success. It's not a hard success this time. It's 30 versus 35.
Um, yeah, it's okay. So you got a success. We'll come back to you. What's Clara doing as you look around?
Clara is going to probably check the voicemail check the answering machine on his landline because it's
Mhm.
the 80s. And check to see if there's any mail open that might have any like notices or any letters from his daughter or anything like that.
Okay. So
Would this be a used library check?
Libraries. Probably no. If you yeah, go ahead and give me yeah, there's like a search really. I will say on the answering machine, there's nothing.
Mm.
And yeah, go ahead and give me another spot hidden, and just for searching around, seeing what you can find.
Okay. Spot hidden is a 25. I rolled a 67. So close.
Okay. Yeah, so there's not any, immediate mail open on any services or anything like that. He's got a little stack of mail on his kitchen counter. And yeah, you suspect he keeps old letters somewhere else in the house. But you haven't seen them yet.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use psychology to try and break down what I know about him, and what level of bad is it that he would leave his dog and not tell anyone where he's going?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll me psychology.
Okay. Since I know him well enough and I've studied psychology. Oh, 36 out of 40.
Okay, go ahead and mark it. He would absolutely never do this. It is extremely unusual in his character. And beyond that, there's no, he's an elderly man, but you've never noticed any signs of, dementia or any sort of mental instability that might lead him to wander off and get lost or something like that. Yeah. So we'll go back to the basement. There's a lot of old stuff down in the basement. There's a thick layer of dust on everything, much like the upstairs. It seems the basement is not well traveled. You do notice, however, on your way down, a set of footprints in the dust on the wooden stairs.
Gonna call back into the house. Clara, there are some footsteps down into the basement, and I assume none back up.
No, some back up.
Okay. There's some footsteps here. So someone's been down here recently.
Peeks her head out. Do you need a flashlight?
There's a light switch. It's a finished basement.
Okay, so yeah. Think I'm good, but gonna see what's up down here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you
stand at the top of the stairs and just wait for him to say something to move down.
You flip the light switch. Only a couple of the lights come on downstairs. They're mostly burnt out. And so there's kind of like a flickering, kind of dim light down here. You go down and there's some old furniture down here. Looks like at one point earlier on in Mr. Jones' life, this was some sort of gaming room or something for his children, but has long since lost that use and is now just storage. You just see cardboard boxes stacked on toy boxes and tables and things like that. The carpet down here smells absolutely awful. I don't know if you have allergies, but if you do, they are not being kind to you in this moment. And you see on a table a box open and a photo album sort of opened to the side of it.
Some kind of photo album down here. I assume it's at least the most obvious thing that is not, packed away. Like this has clearly been brought out recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the dust on the table is disturbed by this
Mhm.
by this book, so it's
Yeah.
freshly been opened.
Should I come down there?
It's pretty dusty down here. I can bring this back up.
Okay, just make sure that you don't, make sure he's not down there, please.
Yeah. So gonna, quickly, check front and back of the photo album before opening or without opening it, put it on the box, and then complete, a circuit of the basement before bringing the box and photo album up.
You look around and you see no further signs of anything being disturbed, and you don't see him down here.
Yeah, he's not down here, but I'm gonna bring this stuff up. Maybe this stuff was moved recently, so maybe it'll tell us something.
Yeah, just I'm really worried. I'm just gonna call the police from here, okay?
Okay. Sure. Yeah. And as she does that, I'll bring the stuff up to the kitchen and start going through the box.
All right.
I'll call the non-emergency line.
Okay.
Not like the house is on fire situation.
Mm-hmm. So they get your information. They tell you they're going to send an officer that way to talk to you, and that they tell you not to worry. A man of his age, the most likely scenario is that we'll find him in a hospital, and he probably just got confused and left, couldn't find his way back.
Yeah, she is not convinced, but is so she lets them do their job, and she grabs everything else she would need for Hercules and goes back to the house in a state of stress. James.
Okay. Are you taking the box of things back over to
Yes.
your house?
Well, the idea had been to begin going through the box as she was on the phone with the police. But...
Okay. So while you're doing that, you're going through, and it's very obvious a box of like photo albums and mementos and things like that from his life. The photo album he had out was one of his family. There's some other ones in there of like friends from when he was younger and things like that. There's a scrapbook his wife seemed to have made.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the one that was already out. Anything noticeable about the contents of that one?
Yeah, it was. It seemed to have been dedicated to his daughter.
I guess I'm not exactly sure how photo albums were set up in the 80s, but I'm gonna look through, see if there's any like missing pouches where it's like there probably was a photo here and it seems to be missing now.
Okay. Um, so this isn't reading because that would be a language.
Mhm.
I think you're just flipping through it. So yeah, we're just rolling heavy on the spot hidden today.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think spot hidden.
All right, let's try this again. It's been pretty good so far. Is this where the luck runs out? No, that's another hard success. 9 versus 35.
Okay. Um, there is, it seems to be a Polaroid missing from the section. His daughter would have been about like 5. It seems to be like a some kind of birthday party or something like that. You don't know. There's no picture of a cake or anything like that.
So, other birthday photos around, but one missing in that section.
Hmm.
Huh. This is. There's only one photo out of place here.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, you're on the phone. I'll tell you later.
Thank you for your help. Yeah, we'll be here. Okay. Bye. I'm sorry.
Right, sorry. Just this was the photo album that was out, and it seems to be about his daughter. And flipping through, and it seems like doesn't seem like there should be a photo here.
Yeah, I guess. What would the significance of that be?
No way to tell without knowing what the photo is, but seems to have been something for his daughter's birthday.
Okay. Well, I told the police that we would wait for them.
Sure.
All right. Um, so yeah, the police come over and it's just one officer. Comes over, takes some notes, asks about Mr. Jones, asks if you have, contact information for his daughter or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll give what we know.
Yeah. You're cooperative. The officer is like mostly reassuring you. He's like, it's not going to be anything. Don't worry. He's going to turn up in a hospital. This is, over half of the missing person cases that we have that involve the elderly. This is what it is.
Mhm.
So don't worry too much, but we'll take a look around here, probably just to get his phone book if anything, and start making some calls, and we'll call the local hospital.
Yes. Speaking of the new neighbor, just and pointing to the house is Dr. Miller, apparently head of surgery at Baptist. He said he was gonna check his hospital, see if he was there, and said you were more than welcome to contact him via his wife.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll stop over there when I'm done here. Yeah, thanks for bringing this to our attention. We'll get it all figured out. You're taking care of Hercules.
Yeah. He'll be fine.
All right. And if I don't need it now, we probably won't need it at all. But if we do happen to need it, if while it's fresh in your mind, if you would make a list of things you remember touching in the house, anything you moved, anything you've taken from the house, like Hercules' things like that. In case this turns into something more, we need to know
Oh,
what someone
sure.
else might have
Right,
taken,
okay.
things like that. So just make a list for us. Um, I'll come by and pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like I said, probably don't need it. It's just going to end up in the file, but just to be safe while it's still fresh in your mind.
Right. Sure, of course.
Do you think someone took him or hurt him?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make the list.
All right.
I
And
do
yeah,
that.
so this takes, much of your day. And yeah, the police car is out in front of Mr. Jones's house for quite a while. You go back to your house. You're making your list. You're both making your lists as this is going on, and Miss Carol Brown walks over to talk to you all. Well,
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's your turn, man.
Yep. Um. So I will say definitely younger than I had been imagining Miss Carol Brown to be. Um. Gosh, it is. I wish I had the vocabulary, but it's fluffy hair straight up at the top, swept to the sides, and then long down past the shoulders as well.
It's called a mullet.
It looks nicer than a mullet, but it is like the female mullet, I guess. Piercing blue eyes, heavy eye makeup, cheek makeup. I guess that's blush. Um, Intense gaze, pink power jacket. We can't see if there's the accompanying pants. I don't know if it's a full power suit, but yeah.
all right, and yeah, she's just kind of. So no word on Mr. Jones.
No, I didn't. We didn't see him, and Hercules is he's with us, but the police, uh, they asked us to take note of everything we'd touched. So I don't know what's going on. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm here. Here if you need anything. She's just she's across the street from you, and she's to the right of the Miller's house, just two houses down.
Okay.
And yeah, because so what did you all think about those stuffed onions? Huh?
They were
It was a wonderful gesture of them to have made so much food for everyone in the neighborhood after having just moved in.
Mm, I did throw mine out. I'm allergic to onions,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to tell her that.
probably
Yeah.
best not to. It's very nice. An odd choice. I always go with the sweets, but it's they're new. And then she was sick yesterday, from what they were saying, what her husband was saying. But apparently she got better. I haven't seen the kids out playing yet, but I hope they get better soon.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, if any, keep me up to date on Mr. Jones here,
Yeah.
and yeah, here if you need anything. She kind of nods at you, Clara, and looks over at you, James, and yeah, need anything at all. Kind of keeps eye contact with James for a second before going back to her place,
Thank you, Carol.
which is in no way surprising to you, Clara. You know Carol is a notorious horn dog, and
Do I make a roll to see how oblivious James is about this?
If he's anything like his movie counterpart, I feel like he would play into it, not be oblivious of it.
He would, but I think it's almost more fun if he is oblivious. Ooh. I don't know. I'm just gonna roll like I've got some 50 stats. If it's above 50, he knows. If it's below 50, he doesn't. Let's roll the appearance stat. It's above, so even though it's a failure, he is aware.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
all right, yeah. So yeah, Miss Carol Brown seems to be interested at the very least. James.
Hardly seems like the
And-
time, Carol.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This is the perfect time. What are you talking about? emotions are out of control.
I guess.
I mean, she's just trying to be friendly. I guess it's but you're right. It's a bad time.
Yeah. Wish I had something to keep my mind distracted, like anything.
I mean, you've got some new books that you could read, or
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
I mean, I could also, try showing you a little bit of the woodworking. I'm sure that'll keep you focused, occupied.
Uh, like you want me to try it?
We would start simple, just start with cutting some planks. I mean, maybe I will make a doghouse for Hercules, but
Uh, sure. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I could try.
don't worry, I'll keep it nice and simple, and you're not going to be in any danger with any of the tools.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Let's try it.
All right. So that is going to become a chunk of the evening, probably, maybe even into the next day. We'll see.
Okay. That evening, as you're in the garage, it's not a lot of good ventilation in the garage. It is the summer; it's getting a little warm, so you do have the garage door open while you're doing all this. You see Dr. Miller pull up in his Cadillac, go out to his trunk, and he begins juggling a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that he's kind of holding falls out of his arm and lands on the ground, kind of opens up a little bit. It seems to be butcher paper, and you see a large chunk of meat or something there on the ground. If the two of you would roll me spot hidden.
I think we do need to inform Mr. Miller about what's going on with his neighbor. So I think once he pulled in, Clara would maybe move to be not doing what she's doing anymore. To go do that. Spot hidden, I rolled a 55.
Okay.
Yeah, I also got a failure, 65.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Miller kind of hurriedly grabs the piece of meat, rewraps it, and kind of looks around. He sees you do the little wave, and he just goes inside.
Oh, I wonder if he's late. We should probably tell them, right? I mean, the police were there today.
Yeah, I mean, did we notice at all if the officer went over to their house to talk with Mrs. Miller?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so, I mean, he probably knows. I mean, they went over, talked to his wife, and she probably called him, so.
Yeah. Ugh. I forgot to return the dish.
Oh, well, would it have made sense for us to have eaten all of it in however long it's been? Maybe.
Yeah, how much food was it?
It was a good amount of food. It's probably enough for 2 meals for each of you. So I mean, if you ate it, you've had 5 meals since then. If you did 2 of them each, you could have, but it's reasonable that you haven't eaten it all yet.
I mean, we wouldn't have kept it on the platter. We would have been put it in Tupperware anyways. Well, this is becoming an elaborate lie, isn't it?
It's probably just, clean it and take it over tomorrow. It doesn't need to be tonight.
Okay. Hey, did you hear anything? I mean, do you know the electrician that went over? Do
I know that electrician?
Roll me.
Should I roll my electrical repair skill?
Oh, that's a thing!
Well, that seems like a fun one. Yeah, roll your electrical repair. See if you know.
That is a 30 versus 65.
Woo! Woo!
Now, is that going to
Okay.
count for
Yeah.
Get a
checking
hack.
it off?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
You know the guy. You know him pretty well. It would not be odd for you to call him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's, um, gosh, coming up with names on the spot. I will remind our viewers at home that if you are watching, you can redeem the name an NPC feature.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we'll just say that the first name is Frank. Maybe we'll come up with the last name later, but yeah, that's Frank. He does good work. I mean, I know a bit, but you know, I'm a bit more handy with the plumbing and that kind of stuff. He's better at the electrical. So
Right. I just want to make sure. Okay, I just can't get that blue light out of my head. And I just want to make sure that. Would you mind? Would it be weird if you called him?
yeah, I mean, I can call him. I don't know if maybe tonight might not work, but definitely I can call him tomorrow. Yeah, during the day.
Okay. That way it's like, I mean, there's a lot of kind of weird things going on right now. And I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with Mr. Jones, but
That yeah, it's just that's certainly not helping. It's been a stressful few days, definitely.
mhm.
That's part of why I do, the woodworking lets me take my mind off stuff, and your tea's also good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cuddling up with a good book. And now Hercules.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take him for a walk.
Yeah, probably good. We've been a bit distracted. I can't can't even remember if we've taken him on a walk since we found him that first day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that then.
All right, yeah, I'll
Okay.
I'll clean up here.
All right. Yeah. Uneventful rest of the evening, unless you do anything to make it otherwise. Yeah, you go to sleep for the night, and around about 2 o'clock in the morning, you're woken up by a loud electrical humming noise and flashing lights. The same blue flashing lights coming from the Millers.
Well,
Yeah. I think yeah, probably more or less the same as before. Make himself decent, get rubber gloves and stuff on,
Uh-huh.
and head across the street.
All right.
Huh.
As you begin to head across the street, you notice most of the neighborhood is still got their lights out. Doesn't seem to be quite the commotion that there was last time. The exception to this being Carol Brown's house, as you see Carol Brown walking out in a nightgown and a robe, walking towards the house as well.
Carol, you you all right?
Yeah, you know what? 2 times in a week is too much.
Yeah.
They're going to get a piece of my mind on this.
Right. Well, is the electricity still going on, or has it died
It
down
is
already?
now shut down.
All right, Carol. Yeah, this is gosh, he's probably gonna come out, say the same thing. I was gonna talk to Frank tomorrow anyway, find out what was going on. He's probably gonna have to come back. Um, gosh. Yeah, I mean, I'm conflicted between Alex is terrible at conflict like this versus what would James be doing. It's like,
We watched this movie.
Yeah.
Do it. Conflict is the way.
yes. All right, yeah. I mean, yeah. We'll go knock on the door. He'll give us the excuses. We'll tell him that this is, not a great introduction to the neighborhood, but again, it seems like it's already done for the night, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It's like, all right, I'll just stand behind you and I'll just look angry. I'll just.
Sure.
All right. You go up. There's no, you're taking time. You're half expecting Dr. Miller to walk out. He just
Mhm.
doesn't. You get up to the door.
Going to try the doorbell this time, see if I can hear it.
You do.
Well, it
Um,
didn't knock out the power this time.
yeah. Um, the door, opens. Um, you didn't. You don't remember hearing any footsteps this time. Opens quickly after you ring the doorbell. Maybe he was just about to
Mhm.
open the door and talk to the neighborhood. And he goes, "Oh, can I help you?"
Yeah, the lights and all that stuff happened again. Woke
Mm.
us up.
Carol's just fuming at him, giving him the stink eye. Um, she kind of nudges you, James. She feels like you're not being angry enough with this man disturbing your sleep.
I mean, I thought I'd talked about this, that, shouldn't be messing around with electricity. I mean, doesn't seem like anything blew up this time, but still, you're doing something that's waking folks up across the street at 2 in the morning.
Hmm. Yeah. I know that my son is working on something down there. Kind of turned it into a bit of a workroom for him. Um, I didn't wake me up. Are you sure it was that bad?
We're both standing here now, and I mean, if it didn't wake you up, then what were you doing, at the door already?
I just come down to get a glass of water.
Right? Okay, well, could you ask your son to not do whatever he's doing at 2 a.m.?
I'll ask him, but teenagers.
Right. Well, we would certainly take it as a kindness if you could try and keep him from doing this. This is not a great introduction to the neighborhood, I must say.
Come on, Alex.
Absolutely.
More aggression. Let's go.
Hey, this is still what, like day 3 of knowing this guy?
Mhm. All right, all right. You know what? I apologize. You're right. I wasn't expecting to have this kind of conversation this late at night. I'm tired too. I feel like I'm coming across a little overly hostile here. I'll talk to him. I'll make sure it stops. I'm doing my son. I'm positive it's going to happen again. He's not going to listen to me, but we can shut it down. I'll send him your way. He's feeling much better. I'll send him your way tomorrow. I'll let him meet people. Let him apologize to people. Maybe that'll knock some sense into him.
Right, and, at the very least, I can go over basic electrical safety with him, make sure this doesn't happen again.
Okay. Yeah, he probably loved that.
Right, well, I
Oh,
could.
how'd you like those stuffed onions the wife bought
Oh,
over?
yeah, they were great. We had the last of them tonight, and cleaning the dish, and we're gonna bring it back over in the morning at a more godly hour.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah. Sorry about this. Sorry, I'm just a little out of it. Anyways, I'll
Right,
talk to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow after I get off. Make sure this doesn't happen.
right. Well, looking forward to it, but for now, think it's back to bed for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of looks around. He goes, "Guys, sure it's that loud? It doesn't look like anyone else has heard it."
I mean, again, I'm across the street, lights flashing into our windows, and
Yeah, I guess it's got to be loud. I'm sorry.
yeah, kind of looking over to Carol, who I think you said is like 2 houses
Jeez.
down from them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And she can't see the lights because she's on the same side of the street, so it's just the humming that's waking her up.
but not going to try and speak for her in terms of how it woke her up. But
Mm-hmm. She's she's very clearly hostile towards Dr. Miller, and he's kind of looking over at her and goes, Ms. Brown, um, it's done for the night. How about the two of you go in? I'm sure you must be cold out there. You're hardly wearing anything at all. And he shuts the door.
well, that seems to be about as much as we can expect without, barging into the man's home.
Mm.
So, God, I did not want to be up this early twice this week. All right. Well, see you around, Carol.
All right. She said, I don't think I like him very much. I think next time you should hit him, James.
I mean, that's a bit uncalled for, but I
Is
guess
it?
that
He was not treating you with the respect you deserve, James. I'm just going to say it. All right?
trust me, Carol, I am used to a man of his stature looking down on folks, folks like me who work with our hands. So it's not the right thing, but it's something I'm used to.
I guess. I still don't like it. And she just goes, well, if you're up, you can always, I'm up. We can have a few drinks.
Carol, it is 2 a.m. Maybe if you tried this some other time when we weren't both woken up in the middle of the night and riding adrenaline highs.
It seems like a good time to do it, but all right.
Yeah.
Rain check.
Yeah. Good night, Carol.
All right. She goes across the yards to her house.
Is everything all right?
Well, it's said this time it was his son doing something, workspace in the basement. He wasn't woken up by it apparently, and yet he was at the door getting himself a glass of water.
Well, how could he not have? I mean, I'm surprised the neighborhood wasn't woken up by that.
I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that makes me believe him at all, that it was apparently just us and for some reason Carol, and no one else in the neighborhood seems to be up this time.
How strange.
Yeah, well, definitely going to be having a conversation with Frank tomorrow.
Yeah.
But he did also say he might, his son's feeling better, might send him our way to apologize, and might give the boy a crash course in electrical safety.
Oh yeah. Should scare him straight.
Okay.
Doing the marijuana.
The rest of your night is uneventful. You get what sleep you can. Not like super early in the morning, but like 10 o'clock in the morning, you see what you assume to be the son out and about. He's going straight for your house. Anyway.
Rings the doorbell.
Yep.
Dog barks. It's a terrier. Clara is in a robe, like one of those like robes that you put on after you get out of the shower. She's in her pajamas still, but like it's like big and poofy, and she's got her glasses on and a cup of tea in her hand. It's just, can I help you?
Oh, hi. Dad said I woke some people up last night and need to come talk to some folks.
Oh, you're the doctor's son.
Yeah, I'm Matt Jr. and he holds his hand out to shake your hand.
She will not shake his hand because he's a child and she doesn't have to.
Okay.
I am Mrs. Kriegerton. James, young man is here from across the street.
Ah, right. Be right there. And this time, does not work to make himself presentable. Wants to have the appearance of, a working man. Right. You must be Dr. Miller's son.
Yeah, Matt Jr. and he holds his hand out to shake your hand.
Gonna go in for the handshake.
You feel a slight static shock as he shakes your hand for 30 seconds, saying your name over and over and over again, making eye contact. It's nice to meet you. And then he just kind of, as he lets go of the handshake, he just reaches over, gives you a little tap on the shoulder, and he says, "Nice to meet you, Mrs. Kriegerton." And you feel a slight electric shock as he makes eye contact with you and says your name over and over again for about 30 seconds.
Oh boy, she will walk away from that situation. That is very uncomfortable and inappropriate for a child of his age. She's like, I feel like she will not let it go on for that long. Like he touches her shoulder and she's like, no.
Wow.
Not about that.
He kind of, as you walk off, kind of looks over to James. He goes, "I hope that's not too. My dad says it's a good way to remember people's names."
Right. Yeah. I think she's a teacher at the college, and so is a little bit more aware of the age difference. She doesn't go around shaking all her students' hands. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What class does she teach? I'm enrolling there. I'm going to be a student at, starting the fall semester.
Does something with the stars, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not great with all the fancy words.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think it's astrology, maybe?
Sounds right. Yeah, I've definitely has to do with stars. Anyways, yeah, my dad said I woke you guys up.
Right, yeah. And I mean, well, yeah, first, glad you're feeling better, finally.
Oh,
Secondly,
absolutely, yeah.
don't
Thank
know
you.
what the hell you're doing at 2 a.m. with whatever is happening down there. I mean, I know my buddy Frank was over there the other day to see about what happened the last time, but I know a thing or two about electricity, and whatever you're doing over there is, I mean, at the very least, it's a bit of a nuisance, and just want to make sure you're being safe and not risking burning down the house or the neighborhood.
It shouldn't be. No, I've got it. I think pretty properly insulated, at least the area I'm working in. It is a high voltage thing. Part of what the electrician did is part of why he's out there so long. So he helped us kind of install a generator down there, and it's gas powered. And we got some ventilation coming up through the windows and stuff. But yeah, I'm working on I want to be an electrical engineer, and so I'm just doing some work on my own down there. It's dangerous to an extent, but I think I have all the proper safety equipment.
Right. Well, certainly hope that's the case. I offered to come over and take a look, just, give my opinion on it as well, but very least we may want to figure out a way to, black out the windows or something so at least the light's not coming through, though gonna have to figure out something to dull the humming but also not prevent the ventilation. And James starts getting in like, how would I solve this problem mode.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And yeah, you're throwing out some good ideas and stuff like that. You see him kind of be like, "Oh wow," like he's kind of engaging with it. Clearly some stuff he hasn't thought of. So all right, well, I don't know. I'm I don't think I need any help with it right now, but I'm gonna be coming up on something pretty tricky. I think here in the next week or two with it. I'll try and get those windows blacked out and stuff like that, and I'll try and do it at a more appropriate hour.
Yeah, definitely that
Um,
one. People might get more annoyed, but as long as you're not waking them up in the dead of night, they're not going to be as pissed. So, do it
mhm.
during the waking hours and maybe it won't be such an issue.
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Well, I am, I'm gonna, kind of making some introductions and stuff. I know this is not necessarily the appropriate time to be saying it. I don't think you need any. Doesn't seem like you guys need anything done around here. It seems like you got it taken care of. But I'm open for odd jobs. If you ever need any help with anything, I would love to do that. I'd love to make a little money. I'm trying to save up for a car. Again, I know you're maybe not inclined to say yes to that right now, but yeah, and things. I'll probably will take you up on that offer of help. Um, yeah, again, so sorry about that.
Well,
You know,
I mean,
inspiration strikes, and I just kind of wasn't thinking about it.
yeah, the main thing is just want to make sure you're being safe, everyone's being safe, and, just trying to, again, safety, minimize the nuisance, and then, after that, you're pretty much clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how familiar you are with the works of Tesla.
Is this going to be another electrical repair role for me? To
Um,
figure out whether James knows Tesla by name or anything.
yeah, yeah. Give me an electrical repair
Yeah.
roll.
Also, I really
You can
like.
also always roll education. Anything that you might have just come across that could
Oh
potentially
well.
be common knowledge, you can always roll an education roll for.
Okay, good to know. Though electrical repair is a better stat for me. Also, I'm realizing we never described Matthew Miller Jr.
Hmm.
But here's the electrical repair roll. Ooh, that's a failure 96. So yeah, probably doesn't immediately recognize the name Tesla.
No, yeah.
Yeah, not don't know the name. Maybe I know some of his work.
Okay, well, I'm trying to recreate some of his experiments, and yeah. So um, maybe mention it to Miss Kriegers. She's all sciencey and stuff. Maybe she knows. I more than willing to get whatever help I can. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna just kind of make some rounds here and kind of apologize, offer to do some odd jobs, things like that. I think next I have to go talk to over to Miss Brown.
Yeah, she was a little bit more upset than I was at being woken up, so might have more cut out for you there.
Okay, all right. And yeah, he and so well, very nice meeting you. Apologize to Miss Kriegers for me. I really didn't mean to offend her. Um,
Right. Well, she's doesn't take too kindly to strangers to begin with, so yeah, I'll try and smooth things over.
okay. And yeah, he walks off, and see him go over and talk to Miss Brown, and afterwards you see him. He kind of goes. He's making the rounds. He's talking to pretty much everyone on the block.
Are people coming out of their houses?
Yeah, people are meeting him at the the front door.
Okie dokie. Just making sure that, everyone in
There's-
the neighborhood's not dead.
Got it. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything odd. And yeah, no one ever did describe Matt Jr. If someone wanted to, you could.
Is it my turn?
I think so.
Okay, who is this though? Is this someone famous?
Yeah, it's he's in I can never remember his name. He's in Parks and Rec. He's the
Oh,
super super
It's
fit
Rob
guy.
Lowe. It's young
Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
Oh my God, it is a young Rob Lowe. Okay, so young Rob Lowe with short hair that's kind of like coiffed up. He's got a Letterman jacket that's red and the like tan leather with an A on it, white t-shirt underneath, of course, like Levi jeans and a belt. Just looking stern AF.
And angry power pose.
Mhm. But yeah, um, nothing unusual, and everyone opens their door. He doesn't go over to Mr. Jones's house, and yeah, he kind of makes the rounds, goes back to his house. We're gonna call Frank,
Yeah.
James, if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, so gonna call him pretty much as soon as Matt Jr. leaves, and uh, once I get Frank on the phone, is basically just gonna be trying to find out what exactly he installed over there and letting him know like the whatever it was happened again, though apparently not catastrophically this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he kind of gives you a rundown of the stuff that he did over there, fixing their lighting that they were installing there, and the generator and whatnot. You can give me this is going to be a combination roll.
Okay.
So what this is you make one roll against two skills. The results vary on whether or not if you pass them both, fail one, pass one, fail
Okay.
them both. But it's going to be psychology and electrical repair.
Okay. One of those I'm very good at, and one not so much. So we'll start with the lower one, psychology.
Oh, so you just make the one roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a 77 for both. It's an interesting mechanic they have in the game.
All right.
Would that have passed your electrical? I don't think so.
No. Electrical is 65.
Okay. I mean, it's one of those things. He's clearly more, proficient in electrical stuff than you are. If you had an electrical problem, he's the guy you would call to help you out. And it's all seeming to check out. Like some of it's a little above what you're doing. It's a little technical talk. But he doesn't seem to be all that concerned about what's going on. He's like realistically, he's like, I don't know, how they managed to get the result they did from trying to install those lights. But I don't think they were in any danger at any point. I don't think there's anything for you to worry about.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, talking with the kid earlier today, and said maybe if they just black out the windows down there, and gonna have to figure out a way to allow ventilation but suppress the humming noise, and so might be picking your brain about that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, and hopefully this is not going to be an ongoing thing, but like I said, might pick your brain about it later.
Okay. Yeah, it's the day goes on. You saw Matt Jr. kind of make his rounds. You see him a few hours after that, early afternoon, go over to Miss Brown's house, pushing a lawnmower.
Good. She's putting him to work. I think that Clara is gonna go to James at some point to find out what happened with the phone call with the electrician. So, what'd you find out?
I mean, Frank's not exactly sure how it's happening, but he seems thoroughly convinced that it's not dangerous. Certainly might be a nuisance, but we might brainstorm about how to, reduce the humming and the lights later. But Yeah, he seems sure that it's just fine.
They've only been here for a few days, but the whole family gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I mean, they've all got their eccentricities. That was the word. But I don't know. We haven't met the daughter yet. Maybe she's normal.
Even so, I don't know. Makes me concerned, and with what's going on, with Mr. James, with Mr. Jones,
Yep.
and we haven't heard anything about that. Not that I'm implying that they have anything to do with that, but it's just it's a lot to take in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I get that for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I'm worried too. I'm a little weirded out by them too, but I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to keep myself distracted and doing other things. It's I gave so much time to talking with the boy, calling Frank, and now it's well, okay. I mean, what else am I going to do about all that? Might as well get back to my own things.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Just mind. Neighbors minding their own business. I get it.
I, I, I think it's. I mean, I think it's nice that you're concerned, especially about Mr. Jones. But I mean, are you gonna do any good by worrying yourself sick over things right now? Still need to wait to see what the police find. I suppose we could ask Dr. Miller if he found anything. Check in the hospital, but other than that, I don't know how much there is we can do.
Did he say which hospital he worked at?
Yes, he told me the first time, and I want to make sure I got this in my notes correctly. It was Baptist. Did you give
Yes.
anything more than that? But
Nope, just Baptist.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. There's no reason to worry.
Okay, maybe tonight we'll check the TV listings, see if there's any good movies on, make some popcorn, have a fun night in together.
She blushes a little bit, and maybe, yeah. Yeah, I gotta make a phone call. So
Okay.
yeah, and she just walks out of the room.
All right.
I would like to call the Baptist hospital, please, just
Okay.
to check that he actually works there.
Yeah. Yeah. You call up, you ask for him. They put you through to him, and then Dr.
She
Miller
hangs up.
answers.
As soon as she hears his voice, she's like, okay.
Yeah, you just hear him just be like, "This is Dr. Miller." Yeah.
No, she just wanted to make sure that he wasn't like an imposter or something.
All right. So James, similar thing. You're working out in the garage this afternoon.
Probably, yeah. I think trying to finish up the doghouse for Hercules, which probably there's maybe one or two planks that he let Clara help cut that are in the scrap pile, but maybe they're gonna make it on there as some kind of ornamentation, but not part of the structure of the doghouse.
All right, you're doing that, and Clara reading on the porch again.
Yes, I think she's less interested in her book this time and more interested in the new neighbors.
Okay.
I think she's getting to the point where she's making up things in her mind, like, well, what if this, what if that, and she's trying to think through it, but also no, that's silly. You're a woman of science. Stop thinking about stuff like that. But she also knows a lot about the occult, so she's going off a little bit.
The occult, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you both see as Matt Jr. walks over with the lawnmower, you see him mow the yard, that kind of stuff. Finishes up, pushes the lawnmower out into the front yard, and goes over and knocks on the front door. And and Miss and Carol opens the door and kind of talks to him for a second, and they both go inside the house. And you see about an hour later, Matt Jr. leaves.
I'm sorry. Did you say he was 18 to 20?
Yep.
Closer to 20, I think you said.
Yeah, I think that Clara closes her book, watches him walk back, doesn't even pretend like she's reading, and she kind of stands up, walks inside, walks to the phone, and calls Carol.
Okay.
Not on my street.
All right. There is no answer. The phone rings and goes to the answer machine.
Okay. Clara just says, hi, it's Clara. I was just checking in. I just wanted to give you an update on Mr. Jones. Give me a call back when you get this. I have a couple questions for you. I hope your afternoon went well. This is Clara Kriegers. Okay, bye.
All right.
She's kind of I don't know if fuming is the right word, but she's walking around the kitchen he is too young for her. And if James walks in, she's clearly having a conniption about something.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be more fun for James to witness this as he probably comes in for a glass of water and a, whoa, you okay there, Clara?
Yeah, no, I'm just, I wasn't snooping, but I saw Matt Jr. go over to Carol's house and mow the lawn, of course, like he offered to do. But then he went into the house and he was in there for a long time with her. I mean, I know he's over 18, but it's just unlike her. And I mean, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but that's just highly inappropriate for a woman her age. I mean, not that that's what's happening, but if it was happening, that would be highly inappropriate.
Maybe I should have taken her offer the other night.
But wait, what offer?
Well, we went over to, because of the lights and the buzzing, she suggested, well, since we're already up, why don't you come over for drinks? And I tried to do the responsible thing and said, no, rain check, maybe another time. And, well, I mean, they're, like you said, they're both adults. It's maybe a little odd, but, I mean, are you telling me you never had fantasies when you were a young woman of anything in that nature?
Of course not. James, please. That's
Right. Sorry, that was a little bit uncomfortable. I apologize. But I mean, it's speaking as a man who was once that age. That is, I'm certain he is a very happy young man right now.
that is highly inappropriate, and I don't want to think about it anymore. I absolutely do not want to think about it anymore.
Right. Well, I suppose at the very least we'll see if Carol comes knocking on my door anytime soon.
Well, she seems very eager to.
Yes. Well, as I offered earlier today, tonight I am all yours. So she can come knock on the door and I'll tell her good evening, ma'am.
She just gets immediately flabbergasted and uncomfortable. She doesn't like what you're she doesn't know how to take what you're implying. And also but she doesn't want to say that the thing that she's thinking that you're
Yeah.
implying, but she doesn't want. It's just like
If she's going clearly red in the face, gives
yeah.
her. Oh, well, I meant for the movie, or if there's nothing good on, the board game or something. I mean, it's
I'm gonna take Hercules for a walk. I'm just gonna.
right. Okay. I'll order pizza or something.
She's gone.
All right. You have your movie nights. VCRs have been invented, so
Right.
you could
We go to the Blockbuster.
Oh my we're on opposite sides of the sofa. Like Clara is like on the armrest, like I don't know what's happening. Right, we're just watching a movie, right? Yeah, we're just obviously just watching a movie, like in our head, just going through this. Doesn't pay attention to the movie at all. Is panicking the whole time.
All right. James, anything?
James is just into the movie, whatever it is. He is oblivious to
100%.
what that's going on.
James rented a movie he really wanted to see and is just really into it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you have your nice evening in. Go to bed, and at about 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a loud humming noise that wakes you up, with lights flashing from the windows of the basement.
I'm going over there, Clara.
Clara has bursted through the door. The dog is barking. She is slippered, robed, hair a mess, and she is stomping across the street already.
Give me 1 minute, and rush in. I think the rubber gloves and stuff didn't even get put away last time, so easier to get them, and runs and catches up with Clara.
All right. I think you're both kind of being over there. You're getting over there a little bit quicker than you have been in the past. I'll say if you want to, you can be at the house while the lights are still flashing.
Yeah, and I think with them still flashing, rather than going to the front door, I'm gonna go to like the basement entrance if there's like a
There
storm
isn't an entrance, but there are some windows if you wanted to get a look in there or something.
Go peeking through there. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden.
All right. It's a 96 for me.
And you're under a what the heck did I do with my thing? Oh, it's just under my thing. Okay, here we go. It's under my butt. All right. Okay, your skill is under a 50. So your skill being under a 50 means a 96 is a fumble. A fumble and Cthulhu results in the same thing as if you had failed a pushed roll. You can still push the roll, but no matter what, the horror is advanced.
Okay, so basically at this point, there is no downside to pushing the roll, or if I push the roll and fail, it gets advanced extra.
I mean, it's kind of up to me. But theoretically, if you fail the roll, and if you push and fail, it's probably a little worse than it would have been.
Okay. I think we'll leave it at just a fumble, see how that plays.
Okay. All right. So looking through the window, it's a little bit hard to kind of see, and you're really kind of pressed up on there, and you don't see much when the window kind of like slides open. It looks like it kind of opens at the halfway, like it rotates, and it's an old latch or something, and it kind of breaks and it opens as you push through. Startled, you make kind of a loud noise, but not before you look into the room and see Matt Jr. Dr. Miller and Mrs. Miller standing around this table. There are sort of electrical devices kind of hooked up all around this table. You see arcs of electricity kind of shooting between these things, shooting down onto the table. You see on the floor, you've been in this basement before with the previous owners. It was carpeted. The carpet seems to have been ripped up, and you see glowing rune-like things carved into the floor of this house. You see by this table, you see what looks almost like a metal coffin standing up. There seems to be wires and something of tubing running to it. The table itself has holes in it, and underneath it there seems to be a large vat of bubbling liquid. And on the table, you see a very dead Carol Brown. The electricity arcs to the table. You see her body convulse as it begins to disintegrate. Crystals forming into the bubbling vat below. Liquid beginning to be pumped to this metallic coffin. I would like you to make a sanity roll, please.
Yep. Just finishing up these notes.
David!
I mean,
What the fuck?
this is gonna start happening at some point. Okay, so sanity. I just click the sanity stat. So I am starting at 60 out of 60 sanity. Ooh, that's a hard success.
Okay. So
26 versus
this
60.
is an extremely horrific sight that you are seeing here. So even though you succeed, you do lose 3 sanity.
Okay.
You're not seeing, what you're seeing is like borderline impossible, right? People shouldn't be disintegrated by electricity like this. You don't understand what's going on. This is bad. At the very least, you're seeing a dead friend of yours.
Yeah.
Now, so
her offer. Now it's too
in
late.
Cthulhu, when you fail a sanity roll, when you lose sanity, there is an immediate reaction that is up to the GM or the keeper. In this instance, I'm going to just say you back away. You begin to back away from the window, just screaming. And as you're kind of backing away, you're looking into the window, eyes locked on the scene that you see there. And the 3 members of the family look towards the window. And you make eye contact with Dr. Miller. I think we'll end it there.
Yep. Seems like a good place to end things.
My dude.
Yeah. Let me just double check a text. Okay. I'm expecting someone, but they're not quite here yet. All right. So that was our first session of Call of Cthulhu. Is there any kind of end of session stuff that happens?
No. So at some point we'll kind of level up and whatnot. There's a system I have for it. It'll become more relevant. Keep tuning in. It might seem like we're running towards the end of our adventure, but I promise this is just the beginning.
All right.
Great.
Well, I suppose we will have to see where we pick up in 2 weeks. So thank you, David, for running this game. We'll be back with this in 2 weeks. Next Tuesday, we'll be back with the Squire Squad with us and some new faces as well. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, our schedule is pretty much as normal. Our next stream on this channel is this Thursday. Elegant Magics, our Good Society game with magics and romance and calling SWAT teams on each other. It's been it's real exciting lately. But everything else, check our schedule, which is below our faces here on Twitch, pinned on our Twitter and Discord. So come follow us on all the things. Come hang out. We're always talking about stuff and things in Discord. It's where you can find a lot of us on the normal course of events. But if you don't come there, where else can we find us on the internet? And we'll go with our keeper first.
Pretty much just here. Yeah, internet. I got a Twitter, like I said. It's somewhere around here. I don't remember it. It's great. It's an MST3K reference. It's like it's some sort of Gristle McThorn body or something like that. But yeah.
All right, thank you. And LB.
I have significantly more things that I do. Hi, I'm LB Hackamub. You can find me at LB Hackamub on the Twitters and the Twitches. My full schedule is up there. But for now, the next time I will be live, it's Tuesday. It's going to be on Thursday, probably on Nerd Immersion's channel, where we are playing Baldur's Gate, unless they finished it last week without me. And then I might stream something by myself because I've been really enjoying playing Dead by Daylight. Lauren and I are going to be playing Song of Horror on Friday night. More spookiness on my channel. And then on Sunday, I will be live back here with Slaying 101. I'll be playing Abby, who is not this character, but kind of similar. And after that, back on my channel, we are doing a D&D 5th edition homebrew game where I am the keeper, I am the DM, and I'm in charge. And I absolutely know what's going on. So catch that when you can. And on Monday nights, I'm always on Indoor Adventures channel playing our 5th edition game. We are in, well, I think we're going into year 3 of this, and we're getting to fight Caius, the worm god. So, you know, it's going great. I play Gwen, the halfling barbarian fighter who runs a tribe of Goliaths. So it's pretty fun. That's me.
Lots of good stuff there. And to wrap things up, I am Alex. OMG, it's some guy on the internet. I'm pretty much here Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays. Next time you'll see me is on Thursday, where I am playing the American in the Jane Austen inspired game. It's been a lot of fun. Minor spoilers, he just pulled the diplomatic immunity card. We're gonna, maybe find out why that was a thing. Eventually, maybe not yet, but that is a very fun game. Lots of drama, lots of smooching. Everyone smooching in that. Yeah. Other than that, like I said before, follow us on Twitter, Discord, here on Twitch. Check out our YouTube for all our past shows and things. And yeah, other than that, I believe that's it. So, thank you for hanging with us. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.